Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off a pick 4 at Keeneland on Breeders Cup Saturday with the Grade 1 Distaff. It's carded as race number 9. We're going 1 1/8 for the fillies and mares. Let's take a peek at this field. Todd Pletcher has 2 phenomenal fillies in this race. Nest, the winner of the Alabama, the winner of the Beldame, the winner of the Coaching Club American Oaks, never off the board from 10 lifetime starts. She is a shorter price than Malathat, who has never been off the board from 13 lifetime starts. It's a nice hand to have.
Yeah, it is. It'll be interesting to see how the betting shakes out. I suppose Nest could wind up being the post-time favorite here, Dan. I don't think that would be that much of a surprise. We'll see what the discrepancy is. She is the best 3-year-old filly. Most of the top older fillies and mares are also in this field. It's a very good race.
It is an exceptional race, and there's a quality speed horse in here in the number 8 Society. Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. Society is a very lightly raced 3-year-old filly. And while no match for Nest in the Coaching Club American Oaks, you have to remember that in that race, she had a terrible break, and then she rushed up to battle for the lead. If you throw that race out, she's done nothing wrong, and I guess there is a scenario where she gets to the front and she puts them to sleep.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, I don't think it's impossible that things work out that way. She's obviously improving, has the big excuse for the only loss so far. And even though, Dan, the last 2 wins from her have both just been, dominating performances where she wasn't challenged. In the races where she has been challenged, she has shown that she enjoys a pretty good fight.
Let's start things off with the number 1 Malathat, a horse for course, although she's a horse for just about every course. She likes Keeneland. She's 3 for 3 here, including this victory in the Grade 1 Spinster, her final prep for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. And John Velasquez gave her a very nice trip. She sat a loose pocket. She sat behind a 3-horse duel. And once she makes the lead, she goes about her business. It's a perfect final prep for the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect trip in this race. Not a super strong field either. And just a perfect prep for her. She doesn't really have to get down to serious business to get the job done. Just sort of walks her beat, wins really easily. It should set her up perfectly for this race. And she's just, really easy to make a case for, Dan. She likes the track. She likes the distance. She has tactical speed. She's a major player in here.
The number 2 Blue Stripe, a Group 1 winner in her native Argentina, a Grade 1 winner in North America. Here's her score in the Clement L. Hirsch. This race, her most recent start, and it came back in August. So she's going to be coming into this race really fresh off a 3-month layoff. She showed good tactical speed in this race. She finishes it off nicely. It's a big step up in class.
Yeah, I mean, she just has an awful lot to prove here. She runs fine winning this race, but a repeat of this performance probably doesn't get her too much against this field. She's got to improve by quite a bit.
Secret Oath, the number 3, was all the rage during the spring. She showed off a dazzling turn of foot down at Oaklawn in several of her races. 3rd against the boys in the Arkansas Derby. She beat Nest in the Kentucky Oaks. Since then, maybe she hasn't gotten much better, while Nest and some of the others have improved. Last time out, Society just speed popped her.
Yeah, never really got involved the last time. A little bit of a disappointing performance there. The prior 2 starts, I don't know what you can really say about him, Dan. She did what she could do, and Nest was just too much horse for her. Was really good earlier this year. Her Kentucky Oaks was a good performance. I personally thought she out-tripped Nest in that race to get the job done, but it was still a good performance, and you're right. I don't think she's gotten better since then.
I think Clairiere is the key to this race because we know she has plenty of races good enough to win, and she might actually be a playable price. She took the measure of Malathat and search results in the Ogden Phipps. She took down Malathat in the Shoe V, and she had an excuse in the Personal Ensign. For whatever reason, she just kind of threw a fit in the gate. She supposedly cut her tongue, and she didn't run at all. She's been given plenty of time since that race. Asmussen wouldn't run her unless he thinks she's a strong contender. If she gets back to the Shoe V and the Phipps, she's got a big shot at this.
Right. All those things are true. And, it's just a question of what you think happened in the most recent start. Is it a legit excuse what happened there for her to just show up with absolutely nothing? And now there's been time off, so you don't really get any indication of where she's at right now. So that's going to run her right back in the Breeders' Cup. You're probably right that if Asmussen's going to run her here, you're going to get a representative effort. But it's still, I don't know, it's still pretty hard to take her, Dan. It's not like she's going to be some kind of a huge price, and she was bad last time.
Big price will be the 5 Awake at Midnight, coming off a runner-up effort in the Grade 2 Zenyatta at Santa Anita. This is only her second start since Kentucky Derby weekend, and she was up and on the pace in this race. I'm not sure this was the strongest field in the world. They're all bunched up turning into the stretch. Awake at Midnight ran just fine. I still think Doug O'Neill and company are trying to figure out what exactly is her best distance. Is it sprinting? Is it a mile and an eighth? This will be the longest distance she's ever contested.
All right, against the toughest field too. I personally feel like she's better sprinting. I don't necessarily like the way she finishes in any of her races going longer. And now they're going to stretch her out again against a tough field. I think they're asking a lot of her.
Nest finished second to Secret Oath in the Kentucky Oaks, and then she hinted that she was on her way with an excellent runner-up performance behind the now-retired Mo Donegal in the third jewel of the Triple Crown. She ran second against the boys in the Belmont, and since then, unstoppable. 3 dominant victories, including this win in the Grade 2 Beldame. Her first start against older horses. They are older horses. They're completely overmatched on paper. They're overmatched on the track. This race is a carbon copy visually of the Alabama.
Yeah, she just wins for fun in this race. Irad just took her to the outside early on to make sure she was clear. And when it was time to go, she just absolutely dusted this field. It's not a strong running of the Beldame, but I guess this is how we would want to see her win it, Dan, with plenty in hand coming to the wire. She's just gotten really good as time has gone on, and it feels like there might be even room for better. She's a really good horse.
From a speed figure standpoint, the 7 search results measures up with some of the best horses in this race. I thought she ran an excellent third in the Ogden Phipps on Belmont Stakes Day. That was a race where she battled it out with Latruska through hot fractions, put Latruska away, and was run down late by horses that got the setup, Clairiere and Malathot. She then won against an overmatched group in the Molly Pitcher, and last time out in the Personal Ensign, sort of a similar situation as the Phipps, engaged with Latruska, put her away, run down by Malathot. This time there's no Latruska, but there is a very good speed she'll have to track in Society.
Yeah, but maybe the trip will work out a little better for her. And you're right, she has the races to be taken pretty seriously in here. I personally, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, I suspect that you do not agree with this, but I don't think that the 9 furlong distance is a great one for her. I know that she had to deal with Latruska last time, but Latruska is a shell of her former self and certainly was in that Personal Ensign. Didn't put up any fight in that race. And to me, Malathot easily ran search results down in that race because the 9 furlongs is a better distance for Malathot than it is for search results. That's my opinion. She can win this race, but I prefer other horses.
The 9 furlongs terrifies me. If this race was a mile and a 16th, I'd be very, very confident in search results chances, especially at the short stretch at Keeneland where she can get the jump. She's going to have to prove it at a mile and an eighth against some very good horses that are exceptional at that distance. Society might be the now horse, Mike. I don't want to give her short shrift because, again, she had a legitimate excuse in the Coaching Club American Oaks. Don't think she's class compromised because she was beaten by Nest that day. Every other race has been exceptional, including this performance in the Cotillion, going a mile and a 16th. She never gave him a chance. She's 5 clear turning into the stretch. She stays that way to the wire, and I still think we've yet to see her best.
Yeah, I agree with that. What I liked most about this performance, and I don't think this is necessarily the strongest field of 3-year-old fillies, but what I liked about it is she had really good speed to clear very easily from the outside post. And I like the way that she switched off up the backstretch there. She came to hand, she just settled on the lead, and then she ran away again through the stretch. She's good and getting better, and she's a dangerous horse on the lead in here.
Great race, the Distaff. Not the biggest field, but one of the best fields of the 2-day Breeders' Cup extravaganza. Let's take a look at our top selections. Pletcher's got a strong hand. Mike thinks it's a Cole Todd number, 6-1.
I think it's fair to wonder whether you want to take Nest as the favorite in this race. We'll see. I personally feel like she's the right horse in here. I think she might be better. I think she might be the best horse in the race, Dan. And I say that mostly because as much as I like Malathot and Clairiere, there are 2 horses that have sort of taken turns beating each other throughout their careers. I'm not terrified of either one of those horses, although I respect them both greatly in this race. I like Nest.
While I am worried about the distance, I think the price will be fair on search results. I think the tactical speed allows her to work at a trip where Timeform US has her sitting second to Society. I liked her last time. She ran well. Again, I think the price will be okay. And on numbers, she's fast enough to win this. 6147 for Mike, 7861 for me. It's the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Distaff. Good luck.